How did I become a DJ? I remember when I was a little kid, my mom used to throw parties in Tijuana, and they used to be so fun. Lots of people would come, and she would just mix records all the time. This is like during the early 80s. These are all my tapes from when I was a little kid, and I have not gotten rid of them because they're like, they're like my treasure, and I used to do a lot of mixtapes off of the radio, and these little school Memorex. Always wanted to buy two record players and be able to mix and everything, but I guess it's just too expensive, and then you have to buy a bunch of vinyl. I'm gonna show you some of the vinyl that I inherited from my mom. I used to always be fascinated with the record, the actual vinyl, and the label. So here's some of my mom's records. Actually, growing up, these are actually my mom's records. I inherited like Miki Laude, cumbias, Chicago, rock en español, los locos del ritmo, Chico Che, Paul McCartney, Double Dutch Bus, Rumors. This is one of my favorite ones right here, Bill Haley. And then when the breakdancing era broke out, you know what I mean? I used to break. This is one of my favorite records right here. A lot of disco. Christopher Cross, Juan Gabriel, the Beatles, Perez Prado, a lot of classical music, mariachi, Journey. I have these compilation records by Ray Conniff and Sonora Santanera and all these I only have the cover of it, but it was like a compilation of a bunch of records. My mom used to bust these at the parties, even polkas. I used to love these records. This one right here is one of my favorites. That was the YMCA Village People. I used to love the cover. This is the original cover. Anyways, that's just a few of them. I didn't want, it was too many to show. I think that I grew up in a really good era, classical music, and then growing up 80s, 90s, the 2000s. And now, even today's music is really good too. I'm not one of these guys that go like, today's music sucks, because I'm not like that at all. It was at this wedding in Lake Tahoe where the couple didn't have a DJ that night. So after we got done playing live music, I started mixing music from my iTunes with the blending mode, and everybody was really into it. So I decided to get myself a little controller, and I got this Vestax just to go with my laptop, and started to, mix a lot of parties, and just brought my laptop and my little Vestax controller. I was just going all over the place, brought my speakers, and then started kind of like trickling in and doing like a wedding here and there. And just that little Vestax controller was pretty good to start off. And right there, I got my live guitar. It's a really rinky-dink setup right there. Live music and DJing. I started to kind of get the idea to do that. And this is one of my first weddings right here where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I upgraded to Tractor around 2011, and I was still using my old laptop also. I started getting referrals from prior clients to do weddings for other people. So I started to learn the software program, and I was starting to get a little bit better. I upgraded my laptop to 2012 MacBook Pro and started to doing more weddings and more referrals. And I started really enjoying the whole process of meeting with clients, and having me being their DJ. And I think the hardest thing for me is the MC part. I needed to learn how to do that, the MC and the introductions and all that stuff, and that's always been kind of I think the scariest thing for me. But I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit better with the script and everything. You always got to be ready for anything. I started to also DJ my kids' elementary school dances, and I was starting to do other people's schools dances, a lot of middle school dancing. And then I started to also add the element of live music for these private parties, where when people start to arrive, I start playing live music and then kick it up with some DJing for the rest of the night, because everybody wants to have a good time at the end of the day. More weddings started coming, and corporate events started to really happen. And the hardest part really is packing all the gear, and a lot of upscale shows, and my setup's starting to get a little bit more sophisticated, more upscale corporate events that I started to DJ. And the most important thing for me is everybody having a good time and understanding how to read the crowd. I feel is the most important thing, because you get a little bit of everybody, and you got to make sure you hit everybody. So here's my newest setup with the facade and the stands covered, and this was what it looks like from the side. That's my last wedding that I just did. I get to DJ in the most beautiful places, I'll tell you. Very lucky. Right now, I usually don't play clubs or anything like that. I just play private parties and weddings. I think it's because I don't have a DJ name.